Some stories end, some battles conclude, and some journeys reach their final chapter. But these ones, they never truly end. Whether it's their infinite worlds, endless choices, or the kind of experience that changes with every playthrough, these are the games that sink their claws into you and just refuse to let go. This is Red Zone, and welcome to the top 10 most replayable games. Hope you enjoy it. The Witcher 3 isn't just a game, it's a journey. One that you can jump into multiple times and still feel like you're discovering something new. Whether it's picking different dialogue choices, exploring new areas, or fighting monsters with a different strategy, there's always a reason to go back. The dynamic world reacts to your actions, and the side quests, oh boy, they're so meaty they could be their own game. If you're not back in The Witcher 3 after a while, you're just missing out on what true replayability looks like. Plus, the new Game Plus mode lets you carry over your gear and skills, so you can take on even harder challenges without starting from scratch. Whether you're mastering combat or unlocking every lore-filled moment in the world, there's always something left to explore. And don't even get me started on the expansions. Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine add even more to explore, and there's no way you're ever leaving this world behind completely. You'll find yourself saying, "I'll just do one more quest," and hours have passed.
Go for the horse son's eyes! He's ours and cunt's ours!
What now, you piece of filth?
Red Dead Redemption 2 is proof that cowboys aren't just for westerns, they're for gamers too. This isn't just a game, it's an experience. 1 second, you're bonding with your horse, and the next, you're robbing a train and outrunning the law. It's addictive because of the little things. Have you ever spent hours hunting, fishing, or just admiring the sunset? No shame, we've all been there. And Arthur Morgan? Easily one of the most relatable protagonists ever. But what makes it extremely replayable is the way you can live Arthur Morgan's life in different ways. You can be the good cowboy, the bad one, or somewhere in between. Want to stick to the main storyline and roleplay the honorable outlaw? Or maybe you're more into causing chaos and pushing the limits of the world around you. The game rewards both play styles. And let's not forget the dynamic weather and how it changes everything from animal behavior to how characters react to you. The random encounters are endless, and each playthrough offers something new to discover. And the online mode, don't even get me started on the chaotic fun there. It's just the perfect game to dive back into and live an entirely different life each time. It never gets old because you can never experience it the same way twice.
Come here, girl.
A bug-filled world has never been this mesmerizing. Hollow Knight takes the classic Metroidvania formula and perfects it. Tight combat, stunning hand-drawn art, and a world so rich in lore that even Soulsborne fans tip their hats. Every new area is packed with secrets, every fight demands skill, and the bosses, they don't mess around. The game's difficulty is no joke, but when you finally take down that boss who's been wrecking you for hours, it's chef's kiss satisfying. And let's not forget about the secret bosses you might miss on your first run. Just when you think you're done, you're not. With Hollow Knight, every run feels fresh because of the constant evolution of your character and the world itself. Each time you unlock a new ability, it opens up different paths that were previously inaccessible. This game offers that perfect balance between exploration and challenge. Whether you're going for the perfect run or simply soaking in the atmosphere, Hollow Knight's replayability is just next level. Sorry to interrupt, but if you find this video helpful or entertaining at any point, make sure to like and subscribe. It's a really big help. Thank you. This game redefined open-world gameplay, letting you tackle challenges in your own way. Want to storm a fortress or glide off a mountain? Go for it. The combat is fluid, the puzzles are ingenious, and the exploration is endless. Every corner of the map has something cool to discover. From hidden shrines to quirky NPCs. It's the kind of game that makes you lose track of time and possibly your responsibilities. If there's one thing Breath of the Wild nailed, it's that feeling of discovery. You don't just play this game, you live it. The freedom this game offers is why it's still top-tier replayable. Plus, the shrines, Korok seeds, and side quests are sprinkled so perfectly throughout that even after 100 hours, you still feel like there's more to uncover. This game rewards curiosity in a way few others do, with hidden treasures around every corner and even more ways to tackle the same challenges. Next up is Persona 5 Royal. This game is an RPG that balances life simulation with dungeon crawling, and it nails both. You play as a high school student who, alongside his friends, navigates the daily grind of school while secretly diving into the metaverse to change people's hearts. The game's deep turn-based combat and the colorful, stylish world building makes it a fan favorite. Persona 5 Royal is packed with plot twists, amazing music, and a huge cast of characters you'll get attached to. What's wild is the way the game encourages multiple playthroughs. You'll find new events, hidden interactions, and different story routes just by making different choices. The game's pacing makes it easy to dive back into, and each time you explore a new confidant storyline, it feels like a fresh, rewarding experience. And with the expanded content in Royal, there's even more story to dig into. The game gives you enough flexibility to change your approach, and every playthrough hits different.
Why ain't it opening?
It must be her cognition that no one can enter it.
I'm surprised that you made it this far. Beyond lies the Pharaoh's chamber.
So the treasure's still here?
When Elden Ring dropped, it wasn't just another game, it was a movement. From Software outdid themselves by creating an open world that's as brutal as it is beautiful, combining the best elements of Dark Souls with an open world design that lets you explore a vast, haunting landscape filled with danger and mystery. You play as the Tarnished, someone tasked with reclaiming the shattered Elden Ring. The world is rich with lore, the combat is tough but fair, and the sense of freedom is unmatched. The replay value here is amazing. Whether you're building a new character, exploring untouched corners of the map, or taking on the bosses that make you question your life choices, the replay value comes from the depth of every choice. The lore is as deep as the bosses are tough, and you'll be piecing together every bit of story on each new playthrough. And let's not forget about the multiplayer aspect, where you can take on bosses with friends or invade other players' worlds, adding yet another layer of unpredictability. It's the kind of game that always feels fresh, no matter how many times you play it. Oh, Dead Cells, the game that will have you dying but coming back for more. This roguelike Metroidvania throws you into beautifully animated chaos, where you slash, dodge, and mutate your way through procedurally generated levels. Combat is buttery smooth, the enemy variety keeps things fresh, and the movement is so fluid it feels like an art form. But don't get comfortable, this game will punish mistakes hard. Dying is inevitable, but it's the kind of game where every failure makes you want to go again. The variety of weapons and abilities keeps the gameplay fresh, and experimenting with different combinations makes every run feel different. And when you finally make it through that run and reach the final boss, there's a level of satisfaction that'll have you coming back for just one more try. The sense of progression with every run keeps you hooked, and there's always a new way to approach the same challenges. Plus, with new updates and secret areas being added, you'll be hooked longer than you think. If there was ever a game that was meant to be played multiple times, it's this one. NieR Automata is a wild ride that actually makes you reconsider what a game can be. The story's emotional, the gameplay is fluid, and the replayability is insane. Why? Because the game makes you play through multiple times, but each playthrough offers something new, whether it's a different character perspective, new revelations about the story, or completely different mechanics. This game keeps you coming back with its wild mix of gameplay genres, unexpected twists, and that deep philosophical story that hits harder the more you understand it. And once you realize how every piece of the narrative connects, you'll probably want to dive back in just to appreciate all the details you missed. Combine that with multiple endings, hidden secrets, and the sheer variety in combat styles, and you've got a game that refuses to let go of your attention.
I don't have time for you. I need to find 9S.
By the way, if you're planning to buy these games we've been talking about, please don't waste your money on Steam. Instead, check out Instant Gaming. They've got crazy discounts on most games, and their shop is truly legitimate, so you don't need to worry about anything. The link's down below, and you can thank me later. If Monster Hunter World kept you hooked for hundreds of hours, Wilds dials everything up. Bigger environments, smarter monsters, and your own secret mount to traverse the ever-changing Forbidden Lands. The game's dynamic weather makes hunts unpredictable. A calm battlefield can turn into a brutal sandstorm mid-fight, forcing you to adapt on the fly. All 14 weapon types return, revamped with new mechanics that push combat depth even further. Multiplayer is smoother than ever, whether you team up with friends or use AI-controlled support hunters. But PC players have reported performance issues with frame drops and stuttering, though Capcom is already working on patches. Despite that, Monster Hunter Wilds is the kind of game that keeps you coming back, not out of necessity, but because every hunt feels fresh. This one's a bit of a dark horse, but trust me, Divinity Original Sin 2 is a dungeon master's dream. It's got everything: deep storytelling, insane tactical combat, and the best part, multiple ways to play. Choose your character's backgrounds, skills, and make choices that shape the story around you. Want to fight your way through with brute strength, or use magic to bend the world to your will? It's all up to you. The variety here is massive, and if you're playing with friends, the possibilities are endless. Every run feels fresh because you can choose who to be and how to approach every situation. The game's combat is incredibly tactical, so changing your approach and experimenting with different builds and spells keeps things exciting. With branching storylines and multiple ways to solve puzzles or handle conflict, no two runs are ever the same. I mean, the amount of choices the game gives you is insane. It's the ultimate game for replayability if you're the type who loves to make every playthrough uniquely yours. Not sure if you guys enjoy indie games, but if you do, this video on the screen is a must-watch. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.